Hey guys, welcome to Module 7, the final module for basic class, which is the kitchen cabinet function. Let's get started. We can always click onto the customize kitchen cabinet function. Alright, so we'll start by drawing on this wall. So we'll be building cabinets over here first and then continue on this side. Alright, so over here, as you can see, I have a column. Alright, so inside the kitchen cabinet functions, alright, we have all these cabinets such as base cabinets, wall cabinets. Okay, we have special boards as well, panels. Alright, so to start by creating or putting in a cabinet, okay, so we do know that this is a corner. So we can always select the corner base cabinet. Alright, so for base cabinet, which is the cabinets that are at the bottom. Alright, so we'll be putting in a corner base cabinet. So if you are same like me, alright, we have a column over here. We can always choose the cabinet with a right angle, okay, with an. If let's say you don't have a column, you have just a flat wall, you can always use cabinets such as this. Alright, so I'll be putting in a double door. Alright, so that's an angle. So let's just drag it and put it right at the corner. Alright, so once you put it in, alright, so we need to know, alright, so the size of our column is 250 by 250. Alright, so over here we can always change the D1 and D2. Okay, as you can see, the panel shouldn't be like that. It should be shown. So we can always change 250 for D1 and then 250 for D2. Alright, so we basically change the measurements for these two panels. Alright, so right now we are going to stick onto the wall, but before sticking onto the wall, maybe I would like to resize this slightly a little bit shorter, so I'm going to put in 1002. Alright, then over here, I'm going to stick onto the corner at my wall by putting in 0. Alright, so as you can see, I've just installed a corner base cabinet. Alright, so following over here, we can always put in a normal double door base cabinet. Alright, so just drag and it will always detect itself. Alright, moving on, we can put in a function cabinet, alright, which I'm going to show you later. How do we put in the kitchen appliances such as the microwave, the ovens, alright, your stove. Alright, once we have this three base cabinet, we'll start by putting in a tall cabinet. Alright, so for a tall cabinet, you are supposed to select the high cabinet. So for this one, the first high cabinet, I'm going to put in a functional high cabinet. So same thing, just drag and they will automatically detect. Okay, over here, one more high cabinet, so I'll be choosing this one. Alright, so just drag it right over here. And of course, if I would like to make it smaller, I can just click onto the cabinet and change or resize on the product layout. So I'm going to change this to 300. Okay, so over here, I want to stick onto the other cabinet, so I can just put 0. Alright, so moving on. Okay, let's say sometimes we would like to put in a panel, okay, onto our wall. Okay, so for a panel, we can always click on special board. And then over here, we can always select visible panel. So as you can see right over here, later on, I'll be putting in a wall cabinet on top of here. And then at the bottom, I'll be putting in a refrigerator. Right? So I know I need a high cabinet panel. Alright, so which is a long panel. So just drag it out. Over here, I will stick it on 0 onto my wall. Alright. So next up, like I said, I will be putting in a wall cabinet. So just put your cabinets and it will auto detect and auto resize. Alright, but for the thickness, alright, the thickness, which is the depth, alright, the depth. So I want it to be the same depth as my tall cabinet. Okay, so we can just click on the tall cabinet and check the depth size, which is 550. So right over here on my wall cabinet, I'm going to change the depth size to 550 to be the same. All right, so after changing the depth, I would like to make it slightly shorter. Okay, so to make it slightly shorter, we can always just click onto the cabinet and then we change the height. So for example, I want it to be half. So half of 700 is 350. All right. Once I've changed the height, I might need to move it on top higher. All right. So to move it higher, we can always increase the elevation. Elevation, which means that going downwards or upwards. So for example, if I key in 1000, it will go downwards. But if I want it to be upwards, I will just key in the numbers over here. Just increase the elevation. All right. So right now, I have my cabinet for this side done. All right. So let's move on to this side. So over here, we are going to build the wall cabinet. So wall cabinet are the ones that are hanging on the wall. All right. So I will be putting in this single door wall cabinet. All right. So for this one, I am going to change it to, let's see the size over here, 600. So I would like to change it to 550. All right. And then the depth, okay, so I would change it to 400. All right. Moving on to this side, we are going to put in a functional wall cabinet because over here I will be putting in a stove later on. So on top of this cabinet, I will be putting in a hood. All right. Next up, over here, we'll be continuing by putting in a single door wall cabinet. All right. And one last one. Okay, so we will be putting in, as we know, this is a corner unit, so we always select a corner unit and just put it right over here. Okay, so we can always delete this first. Okay, so let's measure the size. Okay, so like I said, we are going to change the D1 and D2. Okay, so for D1 and D2, we are going to change it to 250 and then 250, just like that. All right, so over here, I might need to change this size. If I would like to make it smaller, I can put 700, and the distance to the wall, I put 0. All right, so over here, we can go back and put in the single door, and it will eventually auto detect and auto fit. All right, so we can always change the depth. Okay, so we know it's 400, we are going to change it to 400. All right, so we have this side of the cabinets already built. So moving on to this corner. Okay, so for this corner, I'll be only building the base cabinet because we know we have a window on top. All right, so let's put in some panels first. So some of the time, all right, they would love to put in a panel over here. All right, so you can always go to special board. Okay, so we can always choose is under filler category. Okay, so over here we can choose this filler horizontal with cork. All right, so just drag it and then just place it right in front of your cabinet. All right, and onto this side, okay, I would like to put in a universal closing plate because later on I'll be putting in a drawer cabinet. So sometimes we don't want when we open our drawer or our swing door, okay, so we don't want the door to actually scratch or hit the wall. So we can always put in some panels in this special board functions. All right, so once we are done putting in the panels, we can start by putting in all the base cabinet. So we start by putting in a single door, a double door, and then continue by a single door. All right, and one last one, we are going to put in a drawer base cabinet. All right, so I'm choosing this one with the 3 drawers, and of course it will auto resize and fit accordingly. All right, so to check on our panel, as you can see, this panel is coming outwards a little bit, so I would like to change the depth. All right, so to make it inside. Okay, so I'm going to change it to 550, so it's the same length, same level as my cabinet. All right, so basically I'm done putting in all the cabinets that I wish to put in. All right, so now moving on to the installation. So we are going to put in basins, stove, like I said earlier, ovens, and a fridge. All right, so let's start over the side. So let's put in a sink by right-clicking on the cabinet and then we can always select the hardware and then click on the sink installation. So over here, as you can see, we have the single basin, double basin, corner basin for you guys to use. Okay, so I'm going to choose a single basin and just click choose, and once you're done choosing on the basin, they will immediately ask you to choose the tap. Alright, so just install your faucet. So I'll just choose this one, and there you have it. So this is how you install a sink and a tap. Alright, moving on over here. Alright, I'll be putting in a stove. So same thing, right click, hardware. Right now we choose the stove installation. So let's say I'll choose this one, and the same thing will happen. They will ask you to choose your hood, right? Which is the smoke machine. So I'm going to put this in and then just click choose. Alright, so over here we'll be adjusting it later. Okay, so right now, moving on, let's continue putting in all our kitchen appliances. Same thing, go to hardware. Alright, so to look for ovens, microwave, dishwasher, it's all inside this category, kitchen appliances installation. So I'll be putting in a disinfection cabinet. So let's say I choose this one, or maybe, let's see. Alright, this one, I can just choose and immediately they will install for me. Okay, of course, if I would like to resize, I know it's a little bit too thick, I can always resize my electronics appliances. Okay, so I'm going to put this to 575. We can try, and always remember to move your kitchen appliances. Do not drag. All right, do not click and drag. You have to move it by using this one inside the product layout. So just click onto your oven, all right, your appliances, and then over here you can move left, right, up, down, front, and back. So over here, I would like to put in 10. Right? If there's a gap right over here, we can always change the D1. Okay, we can always change it the D1 to make it slightly a little bit more, right? To cover the gap a little bit. Right? So onto this tall cabinet, we'll be putting in same thing, hardware, kitchen appliances, installation. Right now, I want to put in an oven. Alright, so over here we can always select an oven. So for example, I'll be choosing this one and then click on choose. Alright, once I've done clicking on choose, alright, you may like to Once I'm done clicking on choose, you may want to open your door because sometimes it will fall to the bottom cabinet. So just click on this and drag upwards. Alright, so just drag upwards to the cabinet. Okay, so now same thing, I would like to change the D1. Alright, I'm going to put this panel slightly lower to actually cover up the hole. Right, so let's put 230. Okay, that will do. Alright, so moving on over here, we can always go to our cloud library and drag a refrigerator. So to look for a refrigerator, just scroll to the electronics and click on the living appliances. So over here you can see a refrigerator, so you can just click and drag any one to use it. So for example, I'll be using this one, so I'll just drag it out and put it here. Alright, of course you can always click on C to resize. So if it's a bit too high, you can always resize. If it's a bit too thick, you can always resize. Alright, so once we are done putting in all our electronics or kitchen appliances, alright, So we can start by adjusting. So let's adjust this cabinet. Alright, so usually a hood, they wouldn't have a cabinet over here. So of course, let's click into our kitchen cabinet again. If you're outside your cloud library, so always remember to click back into your kitchen cabinet so you can use all the functions again. Right, so we can delete this. Just click on the cabinet and just delete, so to make an open space for your hood. And of course, there's a gap over here. Like I said, we need to use this to move left and right. So I'm going to move here 5. Let's check over here. So maybe I can move slightly a little bit more. Another 5. Right. So over here, maybe I can move higher. All right. So I'm going to move to 550. 600. All right. So once I'm done adjusting my hood, okay, everything looks good. Okay, we can start by creating the countertop, cornice, and also our skirting. All right, so to create our countertop, we can always just come right over here. Okay, so on top here, you can see countertop. We can always click on the countertop installation. All right, as you can see, they will automatically detect the base cabinet. So on your countertop, you need to choose your sections, which is the pattern of your countertop. So I'll be choosing a right angle. Okay, so over here, next up, you can always choose the material. So I'll be choosing a stone material because I want to put in a marble material. Alright, so I'll be choosing this one and then I can just click choose. For this one is actually the back baffle. Alright, the back baffle, which means the countertop that will be generating right on your wall. Okay, so if let's say you want to create a back baffle, you can choose a pattern of your countertop, your back baffle. If not, you can just right straight away click on generate. So as you can see, I've successfully generated my countertop with just a few clicks. Basically, I just select the pattern of my countertop and I select the material. Alright, next up, we can put in our skirtings. Okay, so skirting, we can same thing, we can come right on top here. As you can see, skirting installation, just click onto the skirting installation. Alright, so same thing, we need to choose the pattern of our skirting as well, and also the material as well. So for the material, I'll be choosing a solid wood material, but I'm going to choose a darker material. So let's see, Newcastle. Alright, so once I'm done, alright, so sometimes designers ask that if let's say the skirting, I don't want to make it the same level as my cabinet. Okay, I want it to be slightly inside a little bit. So we can always change the front extension. So to move backwards, you need to type in negative. As you can see when I move. Alright, if you want to go frontwards, you can put in positive signs. Alright, so I'm just going to change it slightly a little bit behind by putting in -10, and all we need to do is just click on OK. And as you can see, I've generated my skirting. Moving on, we are going to put in our cornice. Alright, so cornice, same thing over here, which is called top line. As you can see, cornice installation. Alright, so same thing, they will actually detect the wall cabinets, your top cabinets. Alright, so we choose our patterns and our material. So there you have it. So basically they've created the cornice for you. Alright, so we have a cornice, we have a skirting, we have a countertop. Alright, so next thing we would like to do is to change our door panels. Alright, so as you can see, there are still handles over here. So first thing we need to do is delete our handles first. So we can always delete by right clicking on the wall. Okay, and as you can see, all handles, we can just click on delete. So basically we just deleted all the handles. All right, next up, you can right click on the wall, and all door panels, as you can see, there is a drawer style. Okay, so we can start by changing the drawer style first. So I'm going to choose the universal door panel, library, aluminum frame door. And then I will be choosing this. Alright, so when I click, as you can see, I've changed the drawer. Alright, for this one, maybe I would like to turn this into a drawer. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to make it into a fake door first so that when I open the door, it doesn't open. Okay, it won't clash. Okay, so for this one, we might change it to a drawer. Okay, so we can always open it up. Okay, or maybe just click on this door and just open. So right now, we would like to install a condiment basket. All right, so we would like to install into this door, okay, this cabinet. So first thing, we would like to delete this panel. All right, so to delete this panel, as you can see, if I click on this panel, it actually selects the entire cabinet. But to click this single panel, we can always click on B inside board selection mode. Right now, we may select the individual panels, and then we can delete it. All right, so we can just right click, and for your condiment pull baskets or your dish rack is all over here, add accessories. Okay, so you can always choose the condiment pull basket. So I'm going to put this in. Right, so this one you have to drag it in, but when you drag it in, do not drag it onto your cabinet. All right, so drag it onto your wall. Try to stick it onto your door. All right, so we stick it onto our door. So right now, if we open up the door, it will actually pull out or open up together with your swing door or your drawer. All right, so next up over here, okay, so I would like to delete this door. So I can just click B, click on the door and delete. And of course, this panel I would like to delete. Okay, so over here, I will be putting in a dish rack. Okay, so dish rack, right click, add accessories. Okay, so we can select the condiment pull baskets. Okay, so over here, I can select my dish racks and just place it, drag and put it inside your cabinet. Of course, as you can see the size, you might need to resize this. So I'm going to put 550 and let's see. Okay, so let's move to the left, 100. Okay, so 550 apparently is a little bit still too big, so I'm going to find 530. I'm going to try 530 and then move to my right, 120, maybe slightly a little bit more, 150. Okay. So this one, maybe I would like to change it 515. Alright, so adjust the size according. Then after that, we can always put it downwards. Okay, so we can drag downwards by keying in negative 100. Alright, going downwards, or maybe going front. To the front, we just key in 50. Alright, just like that. Alright, so basically we have put in everything. We have not left out any single things. Alright, so on to continue on our door panel. Alright, so we have already changed the drawer just now. So over here right now, we are going to change the swing door. So over here, right, all door panels, we can always choose the door call style. Alright, same thing I would like to change to the same door panel. All door panels, door style. Alright, same one, narrow frame. And as you can see, right over here. Alright, so for the top cabinets, alright, as you can see, the handles are at the top. Okay, so we might need to change the door panel for our top cabinet. So we can always just click on Control and select only the top cabinets. Right click, door panel, door core style. Alright, same thing, we are going to choose the same one. It's just that a different template, which they actually have a top opening and a bottom handle. Alright, so this is the the handle at the top, and this one is the handle at the bottom. So if you choose, as you can see, the top cabinet's handles have changed down already. Alright, moving on, we are going to change the cabinet materials and our door materials if we would like to. Alright, so same thing, right click onto your cabinet materials. Okay, over here we can select all materials, cabinet materials. Alright, so I'm going to choose a solid wood. So I'm going to choose this one, a little bit grayish color. Okay. So over here, I would like to also change the panels. Okay, so all these panels, as you can see, it doesn't change automatically. So what you can do is that we can always use the format painter. All right, so let's click on B, board selection first. Right click onto the cabinet because we are going to copy this color onto this board. So we can use this format painter, material painter, and just click, click, click. Don't forget the panel over here. Click. Alright. So we have already put in all our materials. Okay, so basically we have created the kitchen cabinet. So moving on for our island, we are going to create an island. Okay, so let's get our view. Okay, get our angle, right? So over here, I'm going to use only the base cabinet to create an island. So drag a double door base cabinet out. Of course, the elevation, this one I want to be on the floor. So I'm going to just put 0 for my elevation. Right? So we can always use X to rotate. Right? And then just drag slightly to position it. Alright, so after that we can always put a one door over here. Okay, so I would like to move this cabinet behind this cabinet. Alright, so back to back. So you can always click on spacebar. Right, click on spacebar and it will automatically move backwards. Alright, so always remember, select the cabinet on the right hand side. If let's say you select this one and you click on spacebar, it will actually move towards the opposite direction. So always start with the right hand side. Alright, once I'm done putting it back to back, I can start building like a square shape by putting in just base cabinet. Alright, so as you can see, I have a square shape. Alright, basically this is the island. Okay, so right now I would like to position it. I would like to move it slightly over here. So to move all together, we can always hold our control button and highlight the cabinet. If let's say you're not able to do so, you can always just hold your control button and just click one by one. Alright, so now we can always click Control G. Once you have highlighted, you need to click Control G to favorite and group them together. Right, so of course you click on confirm. So right now when you click on Z, you basically move the entire island over here. And if you would like to choose, as you can see when I just click right on my cabinet, alright, even though it's grouped, but it's only selecting one cabinet. So to select the entire cabinet at once, you can always press your shift and then select the cabinets. Right, so now I would like to move it slightly over here. Alright, once I'm done positioning my cabinets, okay, Right now, we would like to change the door panels, change the cabinet colors, materials, all right, for this island. All right, so first thing we start by selecting only the island. All right, so right click, we can always delete the handles first. Okay, next thing, right click, we change the door panel. All right, so we are going to change the door style. All right, I'm going to change it to the same pattern but with the top handle. All right, next up, we are going to use the format painter, all right, to paint. All right, we don't need to go and click on material or cabinet material. If you would like to use a different color, you can always do this way. All right, over here I would like to use the same color, so I'm going to just right click, format painter, material painter, and paint my island. Once I'm done changing the panels, door panels, and also the materials, I would like to generate a countertop. All right, so to generate a countertop, same thing, only select the island. All right, so right click, countertop installation. All right, since I've already selected just now earlier, so they basically save the settings for me, all I need to do is just click on generate. But if you would like to choose a new one, then of course you can always choose a new material yourself. Right, so I have a tabletop already, so now I would like to create my side countertop and also how to extend my countertop. So we can always right click on our countertop on our island. Okay, so we've extend our countertop by clicking on count. We can so to extend our island countertop, we can always right click and click on countertop editing. All right, so over here you can point your mouse at the corner, right? And as you can see, there's a red color line. So we can just click on the red color line and just drag the arrow to extend our countertop. Okay, once we are done, we can always click generate. And as you can see, it has been extended. All right, so onto this side, we would like to cover all the way down the floor. Okay, so let's right click, create side countertop, same thing, move your mouse and click on the red line, and as you can see, it's all the way down to the floor. Okay, if you would like to change the thickness of this countertop, the side countertop, you can always untick and change the thickness. If you would like to change the length, if you, let's say you don't want it to go all the way touching the ground, you can always change the size. So if I would like it to be onto the ground, I would just tick landing and then just generate. All right, so as you can see, basically we have completed the kitchen cabinet, all right, islands. So now all we can do, we can go to the clouds and drag in some models to decorate our kitchen. So let's say I'll just put in a bar stool. Okay, so from the cloud library, I can just drag my bar stool out and put over here. Okay, so if I would like to copy another one, I can always just hold my shift button and then you can just drag the chair. All right, so we have come to an end for our model 7, which is our kitchen cabinet function. All right, good luck trying, guys.